If someone offered you one more year to live, how much would you pay? $1,000? A million? What if I told you there was once a man who actually sold time? But in the end, he learned the hardest lesson of all. This is the story of Adrian Blake, the wealthiest man in the city, and how he learned that time is the only thing you can never buy back. Adrian Blake had it all: mansions, sports cars, a private jet. He had built an empire from nothing, working 18-hour days, skipping vacations, and saying, "I'll rest when I'm rich." And he did it. By 45, he had more money than he could spend in 10 lifetimes. But there was one problem. He never had time. No time for family. No time for friends. No time for himself. Every hour was spent chasing more. Then one day, he met the watchmaker, and everything changed. It was a rainy evening when Adrian's car broke down near a tiny forgotten shop. Above the door in gold letters it read, "The Watchmaker, Time Bought and Sold." Curious, Adrian stepped inside. The shop smelled of old books and wood polish. Behind the counter stood an elderly man, adjusting a pocket watch. "How can I help you?" the man asked. Adrian smirked. "What do you sell? Time?" The watchmaker nodded. "Yes, I sell time." Adrian laughed. "Time isn't for sale." The watchmaker smiled. "For most people, no, but for you, maybe." He placed an hourglass on the counter. The sand inside was glowing. "This is 1 year of life," the watchmaker said. "It can be yours for a price." Adrian's pulse quickened. "How much?" $10 million. Adrian barely hesitated. "Deal." The watchmaker turned the hourglass over, and suddenly Adrian felt younger, stronger, like he had been given a fresh start. It was real. He had bought time, and he wanted more. Over the next 5 years, Adrian returned again and again. Each time he paid millions, buying back years. $30 million for 3 years, $50 million for 5. It didn't matter. Because he had discovered the ultimate cheat code. Money could buy time, and with more time, he could make even more money. Soon he was the richest man in history. But as his fortune grew, he noticed something strange. One day, Adrian decided to visit his old best friend, Michael. They hadn't spoken in years, but when he arrived at Michael's house, someone else opened the door. "Michael?" Adrian asked. The woman's face fell. "Michael passed away 5 years ago." Adrian's stomach dropped. 5 years ago? That was the year he bought his first extra year. He had been so busy buying time, he lost track of it. He rushed to call his sister, his only family. But the number was disconnected. When he searched for her, he found her grave. Emily Blake, loving sister, 1975-23. She had been gone for a year, and he never even knew. Adrian staggered backward, realization hitting like a truck. While he had been buying time for himself, he was losing time with everyone else. For the first time in his life, Adrian felt truly alone. He returned to the watchmaker's shop, his hands shaking. "I want to undo it," Adrian pleaded. "Take back the years. I don't want them anymore." The watchmaker sighed. "Time doesn't work like that, but I'll make you one last deal." He placed a different hourglass on the counter. The sand inside was almost gone. "This is the rest of your natural life," the watchmaker said. "You can trade all your years back for just one final day, spent however you choose." Adrian's eyes filled with tears. He had bought time and wasted all of it, and now he would give up everything for just one real day. With a trembling hand, he whispered, "Deal." The next morning, Adrian woke up, truly alive. For the first time, he watched the sunrise. He walked through the park, smiled at strangers, fed the birds. He laughed. He cried. He sat at a cafe and talked to people, really talked, not about business, not about money, but about life. For one day, he lived without chasing anything. As the sun set, he sat on a bench, closed his eyes, and took a deep breath. His last breath. When Adrian died, he left behind billions of dollars. But none of it mattered, because in the end, time is the only thing you truly own. Not money, not success, not fame, just time. And how you spend it defines your entire life. If you had one last day, how would you live it? Would you waste it chasing more, or would you spend it with the people you love? Because the truth is, we are all spending time every second. The only question is, are you spending it wisely? Let me know in the comments. And if this story made you think, hit the like button and subscribe, because your time is the most valuable thing you have.